the Monday, April 27th for the City of Denison Reinvestment Zone Number 5 Board of Directors meeting. So the meeting's called to order. We do have a quorum. I'd like to mention that citizens may speak on action items listed on the agenda. Request to speak card should be completed and returned to the city clerk upon arrival and prior to the board reaching this public comment section of the agenda. Citizen comments are limited to 3 minutes, unless otherwise required by law. Comments related to public hearings listed below, if any, will be heard when that specific hearing item starts. Do we have any cards?
No, we don't.
No cards. Okay, we'll move to item number 3. Items for individual consideration, receive report, hold discussion, take action on the minutes from December 10th, 2025. You've had a chance to look over those, maybe? Any questions?
Mayor, I move to approve minutes as listed.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Motion by Member Massey and a second by Member Thomas. Any other questions or comments, discussion? If not, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Now, we've done the minutes, and we'll go to the financial status of Tax Increment Fund Number 5. Mr. Macedo, good morning, sir.
Good morning. There we go. Thank you for joining today. It's going to run a quick update on our financial status for this TERS. Again, just an overview, the city contributes 50% of their M&O rate to the TIF, and the county contributes 50% of their general fund rate. And so currently in this TERS, the total balance as of March 8th is $1,681,805.88. And here are the deposits since the creation of the zone. As you can see, the valuations have really, increased throughout each year. We've had an average growth rate about 14% in this zone, so it's looking really healthy. Yes, as you can see, we had some expenses, and that was from the DDA sewer line reimbursement the board approved last year, and in fiscal year 22, we just had a small expense for consulting charges for creating this zone. But again, this zone is doing really well, and it's increasing each year, which is good to see. Do you have any questions on this?
Do you have any projected expenses to fill in the expense column on 2026 so far?
No. I can go back and look just to make sure,
I'm
but
just curious.
yeah.
We had pretty well an offset of expense to revenue for fiscal year 25, and so I'm just curious if we're expecting $700,000 worth of offset in expenses this year.
Not that I can think on top of my head, no.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, any questions on our deposit accounts? All right. We are very blessed to have that type of increase since day one.
Yes.
All right. There's no need for action on that item for the update. Item C, receive report, hold discussion, and take action on approving a reimbursement for the City of Denison and to JNPHM Development from the Tax Increment Fund Number 5. Mr. Macedo.
So in June of 2023, the board approved a reimbursement agreement for the Rosemary project, and that's by developer JNPHM Development. And they submitted reimbursement packages the past few years, so I've been kind of holding on to them just as we've been getting them and as more money's been coming in, I'm now bringing them forth. In 2024, they submitted invoices of $46,305.95. And this is preliminary work to working on that Viking Street addition in that zone. And in 2025, they submitted $1,100,091.38. And this included construction work of the Viking Street. And in 2026, they submitted $83,098 package. And this just was, again, more construction work for the Viking Street. So in total, the developer has submitted $1,229,495.33. However, under Section 3.6 of the TERS agreement, the developer is only entitled to reimbursement of hard construction cost. And so just reviewing these invoices, determining that only $1,229,495 or $1,183,189.38 is reimbursable, and the maximum reimbursement that the developer can receive is $1,190,011. So they still have some amount remaining to be reimbursed up to the maximum amount. And I've talked to the developer, and they didn't have any additional invoices to submit. So right now, we're just looking at a maximum reimbursement to the developer at $1,183,189.38. And this is just all actual hard construction cost, and that's for the Viking Street.
So our exposure at this point is about $7,000 in the case of unforeseeable or any new information.
Can you repeat that?
Looks like our exposure for additional payment would be about $7,000 should they come up with additional expenses that qualify?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here are the contributions for this project. So as you can see, when we initiated this agreement, the base value was at $765, and then that following tax year, it actually went down a little bit. I think there might have been some exemptions on his property, maybe ag that like dropped the value. But then once he started building on his property, it skyrocketed. And so the way it works for this agreement is we take the amount that the developer gets reimbursed is what they actually gain on this on their development. So for the city, since they increased their value to $1,625.986, we take the increment and then use the tax rate to find out the contribution that this development got. So you can see here just a breakdown from the city contributions and the county contributions. And in total, for the city contributions, the development has a total of $15,713.43 that it's earned. And for the county, it's $5,988.45.
Is this just for where the apartments are, or is it also those pad sites?
It's also the pad sites. It's that, yeah, the agreement was for that whole area. And then here's just a more simplified view of just the contributions that this development has done.
So I had a question.
Yes.
And it's just for my own understanding. On the description of the, reimbursable expenses, I know it seems a little vague just on the description. It just says like Viking Street Edition.
Yeah.
What all are these expenses? Is this putting in streets?
Yeah, so it's, laying, putting down the, I don't know if it's asphalt or,
It's concrete.
concrete, yeah, and doing all the work for that.
Gotcha.
So it's.
Are any of the other reimbursable? Because I know that we have our impact fees. Was impact fees one of the reimbursable expenses, or it wasn't included?
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna reimburse those. Those are not reimbursable.
And I was just wondering. I know on the description it just seemed super vague on what those expenses were. And I know you have some just classified as hard construction costs, some as soft. I don't know, I guess for the sake of understanding what they were, it would be helpful to know like what each one of those lines were and having a more descriptive description of it. So,
Okay, yeah, I can do that, and I can send that out to y'all. And I can send out the invoices as well if you want to look at those.
yeah, that's awesome. I just wanted to know and just what kind of classified as the reimbursable expenses.
Yeah, so the agreement, since it says reimbursable of hard construction costs, it's only, yeah, I mean, physical, yeah. And so any engineering, any design, that would be considered soft, and that wouldn't be reimbursable under this agreement.
And so what is the approach to that reimbursement? I know you, on the next slide, it showed kind of the tax rate. And how does that get distributed out? And like I said, I just want to know kind of what that looks like just for the sake of my understanding.
Yeah, so the way the TERS works is there's money set aside for developer reimbursements and money set aside for city reimbursements. And then within that pool, the developer is only getting reimbursed of what the developer, the agreement or whatever the development has earned. And then from that pool, that's what they get reimbursed out of.
But when you began,
Yeah,
you had an agreement with the developer.
yes.
Explain that process and then.
Yeah, so yeah, the agreement states that they can't, get more than what they've earned from the development. Does that kind of answer your question a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, please.
We have a TERS application and a TERS policy that states what those eligible costs are, and that comes out of state legislation, right? We have certain things that they qualify for. And then Orlando works with P3 to run a financial model that really makes those projections out over a certain period of time. So we're looking at a definitive period of time within that agreement, and we have to make sure that those numbers work from our side and with P3's recommendation. And so they're really involved on the number side of everything. And so in that TERS policy, it tells us what they can use those dollars for. So it's very explicit in that policy. And then when we get the application, staff is going through, both myself and engineering, and saying, does this look right? They have to submit all their project costs, right? And so we're looking at that and saying, do we think these are eligible? Do we think that these costs are on par for what construction is right now? And then we use P3 to help us verify all of that and set out what those reimbursement amounts are over that definitive time period.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then it's up to the TERS to increase in value before any money can be spent.
Yeah.
We have the baseline on this sheet. The base value in that area was 179 million, and today it's at 335 million. So that increase is what is eligible to be used for the developer's project.
It basically puts skin in the game. If the developer is promising that that the value of what they're going to do is going to impact the city, and they ask for some of the stuff that they can't really monetize, like streets and underground work, then now, if they are right and the value goes up, then they can get reimbursed up to a certain amount. It makes it more palatable for cities that are going through a growth phase after economic downturn to really incentivize.
Yep.
And if they're wrong, they get none of it back.
None of it.
And then just for the city, being reimbursed $142.56, and that's just administrative work that I put in, setting up these meetings and working with the developer, emails back and forth.
Your hourly rate's not very good. That's postage.
Staff recommends just approval of the TIF reimbursements of $142.56 to the city of Denison and $21,701.86 to the developer, JNPHM Development.
also note from the developer side that they've spent 1.2 million and we're about to reimburse them 21,000 back, so it's
Yeah.
kind of it's a long way to get there.
Yeah, it's a long game for sure.
We can do that math any day of the week, can't we? I'll give you 20,000 to bring 2 million to the town.
Any other questions? All right, so we're looking for a motion to approve the disbursement of $142.56 to the city of Denison and $21,701.86 to the developer J&PHM Development. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move to approve the reimbursements to the city of Denison in the amount of $142.56 into the developer JNPHM Development in the amount of $21,701.86.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Member Thomas, a second by Member Poole. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. And that brings us to item number 4, adjournment.
Lunch.
All right, the time is 11:16 a.m. and this meeting of the TERS 5 Board is